Hello, Happy New Year! This is my first YouTube video, so it's going to be a little awkward, but please bear with me. Some people have asked to see my process with my watercolor art, so I thought it'd be a good idea to show it through a YouTube video this year. And 2021 is the year of the ox, so I was super excited to draw Hatsuharu Sohma from the anime Fruits Basket. For those of you who haven't seen the anime, first of all, why haven't you? And secondly, it's about a family who's cursed to be animals of the zodiac. I first watched the 2001 version of the anime, and I'll admit the art and animation looks a little dated, but it was such a gem back in the day. It really was. The thing is that the anime ended a bit too early, so later I found out that there was a manga that had the complete story, and of course I read and finished that. And then recently they remade the anime, so there's a 2019 version, and I have to say I was really surprised. The new art and animation, it's different from the original art, but it looks really refreshing and so cute. I was surprised to like it, and I like the new voice actors too. I think Yuki's voice actor is definitely more suitable in this version. What I'm most excited for is that this new version replicates the manga storyline better, or just a lot more accurately, and I'm waiting to see certain scenes of the manga to be animated. So I highly recommend it for lovers of shoujo genres. When I was painting this, here's a little bit of background. I wasn't having the best holiday experience this year. I worked really hard for an entire year and saved up all of my PTO days so I can spend it at the end of the year, but unfortunately most of my family had to travel out of the country to see a sick relative, and I was left with the family member that I'm not that close with. I wasn't on the best terms. I feel like all of the holiday days that I've saved up just went to waste. I wanted to work on this painting and finish it early enough to post on New Year's, but because of, situations and circumstances, I had to post it a day later, but I barely slept. I don't want to complain too much because I actually really enjoyed painting this. It was relaxing, it was stress relieving, and I got to look at a lot of reference images of Hatsuharu, so no complaint there. That was a treat. But that's enough of me blabbing away. Let's talk about the painting, the thing that I'm drawing here right now. I added a little cow, or ox, I'm sorry. Well, he's a cow, come on, let's not kid ourselves. I added a little cow as a Hatsuharu companion. I really liked him. I liked him more than I expected to. He's really cute. I actually paint a lot more landscape paintings, like anime scenes. At first it was Studio Ghibli scenes, and I know, before anyone says anything, I thought it was Studio Ghibli. I grew up with it pronounced as Studio Ghibli, but then I later found out it's pronounced Studio Ghibli. Am I the only one who found this out? Am I just dumb? But anyways, my apologies to fans and to the studio itself. I'm so sorry that I mispronounced it all these years, but who would have thought? Oh my gosh, I should have done my research. Anyways, yeah, this full portrait, like bust up painting, was kind of new for me because I mostly drew landscape or just tiny character paintings. But I actually enjoyed this a lot more than I expected. I got to be more detailed, add a little bit of color, creativity, and freedom, be slightly abstract with his clothes, I guess. Not that much, I wasn't that daring. But you can see I first added a light wash of the first colors, and now I'm adding layers of shading. That's the thing with watercolor. When I first started using it, I actually preferred pencil as my medium when I first started to draw art, and I don't know, okay, anime was my inspiration to draw. Honestly, people do not like using anime as the reference for their art. Like my art teachers, they hated it when I asked if I could draw anime style, and they said, oh, anime is not art, dear. You should not base your drawing off of that. But then when they said that, I lost all passion for art, or I lost all passion to draw, because I'm just like, I don't want to draw humans. I want to draw these huge-eyed, high-pitched, pointy chin people, because they're so good looking and they're so pretty. But honestly, I highly recommend realistic anatomy. It will definitely help in your art journey, and it will actually make your anime art a lot better in technique and in quality. And back to the topic, I started with pencil. I really liked how it blended, how it looked when I finished the drawing, and I would buy those little smudge pencils too. I invested in it fully, but then I thought I actually really like color, and I tried color pencil. I really did. And I think I drew some decent art with colored pencils, but it wasn't my favorite medium. My hand hurt after a while, so I thought I'd try watercolor because I thought it looked beautiful. And when I did, it was such a mess. It was really, really bad. It looked like a big glob of, someone spilt juice or something. And then I found out you can't try to do everything in one wash. You have to do it in layers, and you have to be patient. Who would have thought that patience was the key to art? Not me, because I'm an idiot. But you can see here, when you first do the couple washes, you think, oh my goodness, it doesn't look that good. It looks so mediocre, and there's no depth to it, and you want to keep adding more. But if you don't wait until the washes dry up, it'll just turn into a big glob. What you need to do is you need to add light washes, layer after layer after it dries. And if you don't want to wait that long, you can use a hairdryer or some kind of light heating gun to set the pigments into place and evaporate all the water, and then you can start adding washes later. But a respectable artist I follow on Instagram, she coined this term, the ugly stage, for watercolor processes, and it's so true. She always said in her Insta stories how her paintings would have these ugly stages where it's just big globs of color, but it isn't until you finally finish it in the last phase where you see it all come together. And that's because what you first have to do is you first have to add layers of, splashes of color. And then once you've added enough layers, once you think there's good enough pigment in the canvas or in the paper, then you can start adding the smaller details. Because if you add the details first and you realize your colors aren't that opaque, then you paint over it, the details will disappear because it will get dissolved back into the water that you had from your brush. So what you need, I don't know if I explained that well, but what you need to do is you need to add the bigger colors first, lay down the color blocks, and then you can add the details in later. So you can see that I'm doing that now. Like when I first started with Hatsuharu's eyes, it was just a wash of amber, and now I'm adding layers of little details like his pupils, the shadows of his eyes. And I can't do that with just one layer. I have to do that with multiple so that the pigment's set and it becomes more opaque. And now I'm just using washi tape. Don't judge my taste in washi tape. It's not my taste anymore. I bought it when I was a lot younger, when I was of the age. And this actually doesn't even look like washi tape that we have now. But when washi tape first came out, this is what it looked like. Or at least it did for little girls. And I was really disappointed to find out there's actually a lot prettier washi tape out there. Like, they're so pretty. They have embossed gold and silver, and I wish I got that instead. Someone introduced me to this shop called the Washi Tape Shop, the Washi Shop, something like that on Instagram, and I'm very tempted to buy a whole cart of their tape. But one of my New Year's resolution is to spend my money wisely and to save where I can, because I have loans from school. Don't graduate with loans from school. And if you do, because school is too expensive, you should live home with your parents. And if you can't, live at a very cheap place, get some roommates, and get a job. And use most of that paycheck on, of course, rent and good food, of course, and then the rest should be on loans. I highly recommend it. And now you can see after I laid the shadows down, I'm using a smaller brush pen. This is the Pentel, and I'm using it to outline the certain areas of the shirt, his face, adding details to his hair later on. Oh, I can't forget the cow, ox. I know a lot of people like to outline their art with nibs, like quill pens. A lot of manga artists like to do that. I know some watercolor artists who like to do that with their anime art, and then others like to do it with Copic pens, or microns. I do use microns and sometimes Copic pens. I just found out that when I use a brush pen and outline my art, and I use either watercolor or liquid ink, I just like the look of it. It's a lot softer, it's not that harsh, and it really flows with the entire piece together. But when it comes to hair, I realized that the brush pen wasn't really working to define these smaller strands, and it made the strands look very stiff. So I thought a pen would be better in this case. What I found hard to come to terms with was that in my mind, I thought I have to use this one medium. I have to stick with this one tool to do the whole painting. Well, that's not the case. And a lot of you probably know that, but me, I'm just a little weird. I'm a little strict with myself, and I had to convince myself, no, I can use multiple tools with one painting. It doesn't have to be all watercolor. Oh my gosh, my hair strands are on the painting. I'm so sorry. You probably wouldn't have noticed if I didn't say it. Let's forget about it, shall we? Oh my goodness, Hatsuharu, no. Oh no. Okay, let's forget about it. But anyways, I had to convince myself that yeah, I can use Copic pens and micron pens and watercolor pens, brush pens, to make the art as best as it can be, the best I can make it. So use whatever is necessary, use whatever you want and you need to make it look like what you envisioned. I know it took a while for me to convince myself of that. So here I am outlining parts of his hair. I try to make sure that I have a lot of line density variation, because if you're just using one line weight, it doesn't add dimension. Line variety definitely gives the piece a little bit more dimension and energy, and that's something you want. You don't want it to look static, even though it is a static painting. And I'm adding the final details and final finishing touches, and this is one of my favorite parts. It's a lot more satisfying when the painting does bleed out all the way to the edge, but it's time to take off my little masking tape that holds the paper into place and also prevents it from warping the paper too much. I had to learn this the hard way. I didn't know you had to tape your paper so that it doesn't warp. I thought you had to buy the best quality paper, which you kind of do. You have to minimize the damage as much as you can. But once you tape it, then it warps a little less and you can have a slightly flatter painting. And my head's into frame. Oh no, forget that. I'm using a white pen to add the catchlight to his pupils and his eyes. And I think the previous white pen was out of ink, so I'm using this new one. But anyways, I am coming to the end of the painting. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me half rant, half explain, but here it is. I definitely want to post more videos like this where I paint and just chit chat, or if people prefer to just watch the painting with nice background music, I can do that too. I don't have to chat. I'm not really good at talking, as you've realized from listening to me for these past 14 minutes. So if you want to see more of my art or just, chat, I guess, I am on Reddit, Twitter, and Instagram, and TikTok actually. I've been doing a lot more TikTok. I've been trying to get used to that. But Twitter and Instagram links are, I don't remember. I'll put it all down in the description box, wherever that direction may be. It's up above you. But if you want to check me out, go ahead, I'd be appreciative of the follow. I'd be very happy. Anyways, have a happy new year, and I hope this year is a lot better than the previous. Thank you. Bye bye.